Alright, what's going on everyone on YouTube? NES Ruler. Welcome to another video review. I have another film here that I think would be a better thing to do in a video form than a written form. And this one's actually a documentary. And growing up, my father, he owned an auto parts store, so I always had some sort of an involvement in, cars and bikes and things like that. So throughout my life, I've always been around that kind of stuff. So this figure here, has always been prominent in my life in some way or another. And it's finally awesome to have a good documentary about his life from the beginning until the end. And I think this film really wrapped up what this man was really about and what he meant and what he was trying to achieve in his life. And that is a documentary titled I Am Evel Knievel. This is being released by Virgil Films. So this documentary pretty much shows Evel Knievel's upbringing from when he was a child until his death, and how crazy he really was, and how he held his beliefs in a way that were just insane. That when he had his mind set to something that he was going to do it, he was going to do it, no matter if he knew that he was going to get hurt or even get killed. He was still going to do it because he promised the people that he was going to do these crazy jumps, or getting in a rocket and jumping over pretty much the Grand Canyon, which ultimately pretty much almost killed him. And that was pretty much my favorite segment of this documentary, was his journey of trying to figure out how he was going to jump over the Grand Canyon, and how he came up with this bike that had these wings on it, and he was going to use that, but that obviously wasn't going to get enough distance to jump over the canyon. So then he hired this guy from NASA who came up with this huge rocket ship, like if you guys have, I think it's from Jackass 2, the rocket ship that Johnny Knoxville rides, very similar to that. And you could obviously tell that, going back to Jackass, those guys are totally influenced by Evel Knievel and what he did. And now after watching this, you could totally see a few of the stunts that they come up with, highly influenced by Evel Knievel. I mean, they even did a special to Evel Knievel, so you could just tell that he was pretty influential in a lot of these daredevil stunt type of people. So he builds this rocket, and it launches him from 0 to 360 miles an hour in 3 seconds. And as he's going off the ramp, something happens, and his parachute shoots out that's supposed to help stop the acceleration of this rocket when he's making this landing. And it comes out early, and it pretty much almost kills him, besides the fact that it gets stuck in this tree 10 feet from the water below the canyon. And if he would have got stuck in the water, he would have drowned and died, because there was nowhere that he would be able to force himself to get out of this rocket. So it's just things like that, and stories about how he just pretty much dodged death time and time and time again. But he was a badass, a straight badass. And I don't know how he was able to do all these things and get back up time and time again and keep doing these jumps. I know that they talked about it. He went to Britain, and he was going to jump these 13, double wide buses, and he knew that he wasn't going to make it because the part that he was going to put on his bike never arrived from New Jersey. So he knew from the start that he was going to get hurt pretty bad because he didn't have enough power to get over these buses. But he didn't want to disappoint the fans, especially in Britain, considering, he's a real American, and, he hypes up America and all that kind of stuff. So he goes, and he does it anyway, and he bails, and he breaks his back, and instead of, getting wheeled off in an ambulance, he gets all his crew to carry him up on top of the buses, and he makes a speech, and it's just stuff like that is just, this man is absolutely crazy, and I don't think we'll ever see another person as crazy as he was ever again, in my opinion. I mean, sure, you have some daredevils, but it doesn't do anything that Evel Knievel did. And it's just having these first-count events and people who were there, and archival footage and things like that really made this, I think, a really, really good an interesting documentary about this guy's life. So if you guys get a chance to pick this up, please do yourself a favor. I think you guys will like it. I know there's one coming out, from the same. There's a documentary coming out on Chris Farley in a few months that I'm really interested in checking out. But if you guys heard me talk multiple times that I love documentaries, besides horror films, that's the one other genre of film that I really enjoyed watching. So I was really excited to check this one out. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's just a really great story. So that is it. That is a review of I Am Evel Knievel. If you guys like this review, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NESRuler22. And if you want to read my reviews over in the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror website, I'll put a link down below. It's 22 Shots of Moods and Horror.com, 22 Shots of Moods and Horror.com. And that shall do it, folks. I shall talk to you again soon with a update or another review. I'm always watching films these days, and like I said before, I like to do reviews for films that I think would be beneficial from a video review than a written review. So that should do it. Hope everybody has a good rest of their weekend, and whenever I post this, or a good week or whatever. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.